inherited control of the race after a thrilling duel with Russell and eventually finished ahead of Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton, with Red Bull's Max Verstappen completing the podium. Antonelli stretched his advantage over Russell to 43 points in the championship standings and became the first Italian driver since Alberto Ascari in 1952 to win 4 races in a row. McLaren endured a disappointing afternoon as neither Oscar Piastri nor reigning world champion Lando Norris managed to score points. And with that, the end of your sport.
What Matters is proudly brought to you DCGsa, finding solutions to your debt problems. Talk to us for professional, affordable assistance.
Oh, can't believe I missed the payment. What if they come for the car? How will I get to work?
Do you feel trapped by debt and missed payments? There is hope. DCGsa specializes in debt review services that protects your assets. Don't use your car or your house. Start with a free assessment today.
Free assessment. Maybe there's hope after all.
DCGsa, award-winning debt assistance since 2009. Call DCGsa today, 086 100 1047.
This is what I need. It's time to make that call.
Money Matters time on this year, 25th of May, 2026. And of course, Casper is joining us today. We're speaking about something that affects many South Africans. Okay, and they are most of them anyway, very quietly worried about it. And that's, of course, being behind on vehicle payments. Now, for many people, a car is not just a luxury, it is how they get to work, take children to school, take care of family, and keep life moving. But what happens when you fall behind? What if the bank starts calling? What if you receive a legal letter? What if somebody says they are coming to collect your car? Casper, welcome. Let's get into Money Matters.
Oh, thank you, Mr. K. Yeah, as we both struggling getting over the flu, eh? It's that it's that time of year, you know, yep. the winter, the stress, all of that, and this is such an important topic because when someone is behind on their vehicle, the fear is real. People often panic, they hide, or make quick decisions without understanding their rights, because it's embarrassing, and we understand that. So today I want to say to every listener, if you are behind on your vehicle payments, do not panic. Do not ignore the problem. Don't be an ostrich and stick your head in the sand and think the problem is going to go away. And do not simply hand over your keys before you get proper advice.
Mm-hmm. So now, Casper, tell us, why does falling behind on a vehicle payment create so much fear for consumers?
Because for most consumers, a vehicle is connected to an income and to survival. A car gets you to work, it gets your kids to school, it helps you take care of your family. For some people, it is used directly actually to earn an income. You know, Uber drivers, take-a-lot drivers, all of these people earn an income with their vehicles. So when the bank starts calling for a consumer or they receive a legal letter, they are not just thinking, I may lose my car. They are thinking, how will I get to work? How will I keep my job? And how will my family actually cope? So that is why vehicle arrears feel so personal. It's not just about transport. It is about dignity, responsibility, and stability. But fear can make people do the wrong thing. They avoid calls, they do not open letters, they sign documents they do not understand, or they hand over the car too soon. And that is why at DCGsa, we created a car repossession survival guide, the SA edition. It gives consumers practical steps to understand repossession, your legal rights, and Section 129 notices, the options of voluntary surrendering, and what to do if you are behind on payments.
Okay, now, Casper, let's make this practical, okay? If somebody misses one or two vehicle payments, can the credit provider immediately take the vehicle?
No, not immediately. In the way I think many people actually fear that. But if you miss payments, the credit provider may start with calls, SMSs, and emails. Those are warning signs and they must be taken seriously. But that does not mean someone can simply arrive and lawfully take your vehicle on the spot. And I think that's sometimes a mistake people make. A key moment is when you receive a Section 129 notice, a letter of demand. This is a formal legal notice under the National Credit Act. It tells you you are in default and the credit provider may take legal action if you do not respond. The important thing is, once you receive that 129 notice, you generally have at least 10 business days to take action, such as approaching a registered debt counselor. That's one of your legal options. So that 10 business day period is not the time to hide, it is the time to act.
Now, Casper, many people receive letters and do not even open them because they are afraid. So why is a Section 129 letter so important?
Well, a Section 129 letter is not junk mail. That's the first thing. So go look in that junk mail and really go look for, if you ever get a Section 129 letter, it is not just another scary bank letter, it's a legal warning. It's that pop-up that warns you. But it is also an opportunity a consumer must utilize. I like to explain it in this way. When your car's oil warning light comes on, you do not put tape over the light and keep driving. You stop and you check what is wrong. So the same, a Section 129 letter is like a financial warning light. It tells you that the situation is becoming very, very serious, but it also gives you a window to take action before things move further into legal proceedings. So if you receive a Section 129 letter, you do not ignore it, you open it, you read it, you check the date, then you speak to a registered debt counselor as soon as possible. And at DCGsa, we always encourage consumers to do an assessment first. Let us have a look at your full situation and see what options you still have available.
Now, there's a lot of confusion around debt, around collectors, recovery agents, and so please do actually take your vehicle.
This is so important. A vehicle cannot simply be lawfully repossessed by anyone who phones you and arrives at your gate. In most cases, legal repossession requires a valid court order, and only the sheriff of the court may carry out that repossession. If someone else, such as the recovery agent, comes to collect the vehicle without the proper court authority, the consumer should not simply hand over the car without understanding their rights. You must stay calm and respectful, but you are allowed to ask, are you the sheriff of the court? Can I see your identification? Do you have a valid court order? And can I see the documents? Not merely just sign here, I'll bring you a copy later. That's not how it works. You want to see what it is. And please do not sign anything under pressure at your gate, your home, or at your workplace. Doesn't matter how embarrassing it is, if it's in front of your kids or in front of your colleagues. Don't let that moment of embarrassment force you into signing something that can be very harmful in the future.
Speaking of signing documents, Casper, why is that such a dangerous area?
Because when people are scared, they often sign just to make the pressure stop. You know, you're under immense pressure. Now you get this document, sign here, and someone may say this is your only option, and the consumer may feel embarrassed because this is happening at their home or work, but that document may that the consumer does not really understand. The rule is very simple. Do not sign anything under pressure. Take the document, ask for time, speak to a registered debt understand what are you signing before you just sign it. A rushed signature can cause long-term damage.
So, Casper, please explain voluntary surrender in simple terms. What does it mean when someone gives their car back?
So voluntary surrender is when a consumer gives the finance vehicle back to the credit provider. So in terms of Section 127 of the National Credit Act, there is a legal process where a consumer may voluntarily return goods, such as a vehicle. But consumers must understand this. Giving the vehicle back does not always mean the debt disappears. The vehicle may be sold. If it sells for less than what the consumer still owes, the consumer may still be responsible for the shortfall. So you can lose the car and still owe money. That is why we say before you just hand over the keys, first get advice before you send. Another problem. No car, no transport, and still debt left behind to pay.
Now, Casper, I know you always recommend people to always do the assessment. Why not just say everyone must apply for a debt review?
Because we do not debt review, and I don't person, always debt review their rights, and we want to do the assessment. Consumers can see what their allegiance is. The assessment is where we look at the constitutional position, income, expenses, vehicle finance, personal loans, credit cards, store accounts, arrears, legal letters, affordability. Literally, we look at everything, and only can we give proper guidance. Sometimes in one person's situation, it might be better to hand one of the vehicles. In another, it's the complete wrong thing to do. For some consumers, debt review may be the correct legal solutions. For others, there may be a different step to take first. For some, the matter may already be urgent because legal action has started, but without an assessment, we are just doing guesswork. It is like going to the doctor. You do not want medication before the diagnosis. The assessment is the diagnosis. And sometimes just getting the truth on paper brings relief. People are embarrassed, but when they finally see the numbers clearly, we can start.
Question: what if a consumer qualifies? Can debt review assist them?
Debt review is a legal process rated in terms of the National Credit. When a consumer applies and is accepted into debt review, credit providers are notified and the debt counselor prepares a repayment proposal on what that consumer can reasonably afford. The goal is to restructure the debt into a legal, affordable repayment while protecting the consumer where possible. With vehicle finance, the aim is to help the consumer keep the vehicle and stay on the road while making payments in a more sustainable way. The guide explains that under debt review, a registered debt counselor can negotiate with credit providers, restructure the vehicle loan into a more affordable monthly payment, and work towards a court-approved plan that gives the consumer a legal, structured, and legal protection. But timing is always critical, Mr. K. The earlier consumer asks for help, the more options there is available. So yes, under debt review, the consumer can get legal protection for the vehicle.
And please tell us, Casper, what are some often mistakes, or rather most common mistakes when people are behind on their vehicles?
Away is normally the first, unfortunately, because the pressures are overwhelming. The second mistake is making promises they cannot keep. They say, I will pay everything next Friday, but they know the money will not be there. The third mistake is signing documents under pressure. And I mean, this is becoming more and more understanding the consequences. The fifth mistake is waiting until the sheriff is already involved before asking for help. And then there is one more mistake, being too ashamed to ask for help. And I think, if I think about it honestly, not a weakness, it is actually wisdom.
Absolutely. So let's make this simple, Casper. Somebody's listening right now and they're behind on vehicle payments. What must they do?
Number one, open every letter, email, and SMS from a credit provider or attorneys. Look for the words like Section 129, summons, default, legal action, or even arrears. Number two, do not sign anything under pressure. Number three, do not hand over your vehicle without understanding whether there is a valid court order and whether the sheriff is involved. Number four, gather your documents, ID, payslip, bank statements, vehicle finance statements, and any letters you've received. Number five, contact DCGsa and do an assessment. And then you can go to www.dcgsa.co.za, click on our free downloads and download our free vehicle repossession survival guide. It is written to help South African consumers understand their rights, process, and the steps they can take before it is too late.
Casper, what would you say to a person who is embarrassed and does not want anyone to know that they're struggling?
I would say you're not alone. Many South Africans are under pressure. You know, fuel, especially lately, the fuel price, food, school fees, rent, bonds, interest rates, electricity, everything has become expensive. Falling behind does not mean you are a failure. It means your budget is under pressure and you need to take action. And even, you know, the latest maybe you suddenly don't know how to keep everything afloat. The worst thing you can do is suffer. No judgment. We are not here to shame consumers. We are here to guide, educate, and help you understand your options. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say, I need help.
Mm-hmm. Now, and wrapping it up, Casper, as always, can you leave us with scripture and links to today's financial topic?
Isaiah 30 verse 21 is what I want to focus on today. And it reads as follows, and your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. That scripture fits into this topic so well. When someone is overwhelmed by debt, they often do not know which way to turn. The scripture reminds us that guidance matters. Sometimes the first step is to simply ask, what is the right way forward? So important. So if you are behind on your vehicle, do not make decisions alone under pressure. Get advice, get assessed, understand your rights. Let's road with you. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. So Isaiah 30 verse 21, and your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it.
All right, so guess what? How can listeners contact DCGsa?
Oh, if you're behind on vehicle payments, worried about repossession, have received a Section 129 letter, or someone is pressuring you to hand over your car, contact DCGsa for an assessment on 086 100 1047 or email us help@dcgsa.co.za and the WhatsApp number 4328499. I'm going to give that again, 061 4328499. That's the WhatsApp number. Or you can simply visit us, dcgsa.co.za. The assessment is the first step. No pressure, no judgment, just clarity.
Casper, thank you very much. And to every listener, if you are behind on your car payments, listen, do not wait for the knock at the door. Get informed, get assessed, and ask for help while there is still time.
Till next time. May you feel better by then.
Absolutely. Casper, have yourself a fantastic week. We'll chat again next week.